There is a certain kind of man who reacts differently when something breaks. He does not panic. He does not immediately ask for help. He just stares at the problem quietly and begins thinking. Because to him, the broken thing is not only a problem, it is a challenge. And that instinct reveals something important about male psychology. When a man learns to fix things with his hands, he is not just learning mechanics. He is training his mind to deal with reality directly. Machines are brutally honest teachers. They do not care about excuses, confidence, or good intentions. Either you understand the system or you do not. Either the engine runs or it doesn't. That kind of feedback changes a man. Over time, he becomes more observant. He starts paying attention to details most people ignore: sounds, pressure, timing, small inconsistencies. To outsiders, it looks instinctive, but it is actually pattern recognition built through failure, repetition, and experience. Researchers call this embodied cognition, the idea that intelligence is developed not only through thinking, but through physical interaction with the world. That is why skilled men often struggle to explain how they know something is wrong. They just know. Their hands learned lessons their words cannot fully describe. And eventually, this creates another psychological shift: trust in direct experience. Men who solve real world problems themselves become naturally skeptical of empty confidence and secondhand opinions. They learn that reality often disagrees with theory. Sometimes the manual is wrong. Sometimes the expert is wrong. Sometimes only direct observation reveals the truth. So these men begin trusting what they can verify themselves, not because they reject authority, because experience taught them caution. Physical work also teaches patience in a way modern life rarely does. You cannot rush real systems, skip steps, force results, ignore process, and the problem usually returns worse than before. The machine always exposes shortcuts. Men who internalize this lesson often become calmer with difficult situations. They stop expecting instant results. They understand that some problems only yield to consistency. But the deeper part is this: most men who learned these skills did not learn them alone. There was usually someone beside them: a father, an older brother, a coach, a mechanic, a quiet mentor who taught through action instead of speeches. Many men bond side by side, not face to face. A tool handed over silently can carry more meaning than a long conversation. And years later, men still remember the first thing they repaired successfully, not because the object mattered, because the moment proved something: capability, competence, control. That memory becomes part of identity. This is why self sufficient men are often misunderstood. People see independence and assume emotional distance. But many of these men simply learned early that problems become manageable when you stay with them long enough. Psychologists call this an internal locus of control, the belief that your actions influence outcomes, and that belief changes everything. A man who believes effort matters approaches hardship differently. He does not immediately collapse under difficulty. He sees problems as something to work through, not escape from. Especially today, that mindset matters. Modern life gives men fewer experiences with tangible reality. Most work is now abstract: emails, notifications, meetings, algorithms. But physical work is different. Something broken becomes something functional: clear effort, clear result. And psychologically, that clarity is stabilizing. That is why stressed men often disappear into garages, gyms, workshops, sports, or projects. Not always to avoid life, sometimes to reconnect with competence, to enter environments where effort still creates visible progress. Maybe that is what many young men are truly missing now. Not information, not entertainment, but real resistance, something difficult enough to demand patience, something physical enough to require focus, something honest enough to push back. Because when a man repeatedly overcomes resistance, He develops something impossible to fake: earned confidence, quiet confidence, the belief that if he stays with a problem long enough, eventually it will give way.